In 2010, a bioengineering company called InGen is running dinosaur crossbreeding experiments on an isolated island. A scientist accidentally drops a candy wrapper on the floor, and it gets sucked into the airlock of a door. This triggers a system failure that reboots the door's control system. Chaos breaks out as people start running in panic, but one scientist rushes back to manually shut the door before a dinosaur can escape. An employee trapped inside begs for help, but his coworker refuses to open the door. Moments later, a massive dinosaur grabs the trapped man from behind and drags him away, killing him. By 2027, dinosaurs have been around for over 3 decades, but Earth's modern climate and diseases have killed most of them. The public's fascination has faded, and the remaining dinosaurs are confined to areas near the equator, the only places left that resemble their prehistoric habitats. Travel to these zones is strictly forbidden. In New York, Martin is stuck in traffic because an Apatosaurus is blocking the street. While he waits, mercenary Zora sneaks into his car to pitch an important mission. Martin's bosses at a pharmaceutical company need dinosaur blood to complete a cure for heart disease. Zora would have to enter the forbidden zone to collect it. At first, she refuses but changes her mind when Martin promises a massive payout. The two visit a museum to speak with Dr. Henry, who's closing down the dinosaur exhibit due to low attendance. Henry was the one who suggested using dinosaur DNA for medical research, and Martin wants him to join the mission to extract the samples, with Zora as protection. Henry explains they need blood from the largest dinosaurs because they have the biggest coronary muscles. He picks 3 targets: the land-based Titanosaurus, the sea-dwelling Mosasaurus, and the flying Quetzalcoatlus. All samples must be taken from live dinosaurs. Henry doesn't want to go, but Martin convinces him by pointing out he'll get to work with real dinosaurs. The next day, the trio flies to Suriname and meets Zora's old friend Duncan. Though Duncan had agreed over the phone to help, he now wants to back out because of the danger. After some heated negotiation, Martin persuades him with an even bigger payment. They set out on Duncan's boat, following routes he knows will avoid government patrols. Henry shows them special darts designed to penetrate dinosaur hide from at least 10 feet away. Each dart is single-use but can draw and eject a blood sample automatically. Meanwhile, Ruben is taking his daughters, Isabella and Teresa's boyfriend, Xavier, on a sailing trip. Out at sea, they spot something swimming nearby. At first they think it's dolphins, but the fins look wrong. Suddenly, the creature slams into the boat before disappearing. Ruben checks for damage, finding none, until the animal returns, revealing itself as a massive Mosasaurus. It nearly flips the boat before retreating. The vessel stabilizes briefly before finally overturning, forcing the family into the water. Xavier gets trapped inside the cabin, struggling with a jammed door until he grabs the emergency bag and kicks his way out. The boat flips completely, and while the others scramble onto it, Xavier finds himself face-to-face underwater with the Mosasaurus. He frantically swims to safety, and the predator moves away. The next morning, Duncan's crew picks up the family's distress signal. Martin and the chief of security, Bobby, want to ignore it, but Zora insists they help. Duncan sides with her and they change course. Ruben spots their boat and fires a flare. Once the family is aboard, Zora wonders why a Mosasaurus would attack a random vessel. Henry speculates it saw the boat as competition. The family asks why the team is after the creature but gets no answer. Their radar soon picks up a reading just before the Mosasaurus slams into them again. As the beast leaps from the water, Zora takes position, secured to the deck by Henry. Duncan accelerates, but when the Mosasaurus breaches again, Zora's dart misses and splashes into the sea. The predator closes in, forcing Duncan to maneuver sharply to avoid a collision. Henry hands Zora another dart, but the dinosaur rams the boat, making her lose balance. She clings to the railing until Henry pulls her up. This time she hits the Mosasaurus with the dart, and it successfully draws the blood sample. The vial ejects with a tiny parachute and Henry catches it. As the crew celebrates, Henry stores the sample in a cold case but confides to Zora that he's starting to question the mission, knowing the cure will only be sold to the wealthy. Before they can discuss further, the Mosasaurus returns with a group of Spinosaurus. Henry realizes they've formed a symbiotic relationship. Bobby opens fire but misses every shot, ignoring Duncan's warnings. A Spinosaurus suddenly lunges from behind and snatches Bobby in its jaws before disappearing into the water. The Mosasaurus leaps again, shaking the boat and sending co-pilot Nina hanging over the edge. Isabella nearly falls as well, but Ruben saves her, injuring his leg in the process. The Mosasaurus bites at the railing but misses. Duncan heads for shallow waters which the dinosaurs can't enter. Zora readies life jackets, and Henry secures the sample and essential gear. Teresa tries to call for help over the radio, but Martin stops her, hiding the fact their mission is illegal. She pushes him away, slips and falls overboard. She manages to grab the railing, but Martin doesn't help her, letting her drop. Xavier dives in to rescue her. Reuben, believing the boat is going down, puts a life jacket on Isabella and jumps in with her. The Mosasaurus rams the boat into a rock, damaging it further. Henry and Zora dodge debris as the engine explodes, knocking crew member Leclerc unconscious. Duncan manages to limp the vessel into shallow water, and everyone abandons ship. As Nina reaches for a supply bag, a Spinosaurus ambushes her from behind and drags her away. Once ashore, Martin warns the group that all the dinosaurs here are mutated from InGen's old experiments. Zora cuts through a fence into the jungle, telling them she's arranged for a rescue helicopter to arrive in 24 hours if they don't make contact. It will only wait 2 minutes at sunset. They trek deeper into the island, wading through a swamp at one point. Zora asks Martin about Teresa's fall, and he claims ignorance. Something brushes against her leg, but nothing happens until a massive eel bursts from the water, startling everyone before swimming off. At a riverbank, Martin finds military dog tags. Blood drips onto his hand from above, and he spots a crashed helicopter lodged in a tree. The dead pilot is holding a gun, which Martin knocks loose with a stick in pockets without telling anyone. Meanwhile, Xavier finds Teresa, and soon Reuben and Isabella catch up. Together, they swim to a cavern that leads to the island's interior. They spot old InGen pipes and decide to follow them, hoping to find buildings. Isabella discovers a tiny Aqualops dinosaur, which Reuben identifies as a harmless herbivore, though Teresa scares it off. Later, Xavier disturbs a plant, prompting a nearby dinosaur roar, and they quickly retreat in the opposite direction. As night falls, they camp by a fire. Xavier wanders off to relieve himself, and while he's gone, the Aqualops returns, waking Isabella, who offers it food. The creature curls up to sleep beside her. Xavier doesn't hear two velociraptors creeping up behind him, until they're suddenly attacked by a monstrous hybrid. Hey everyone! If you're enjoying the videos and want to keep seeing more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We're on an exciting journey to reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you can help make it happen. Your support means the world to me, and it's what keeps this channel going strong. So smash that subscribe button, join the family, and let's reach this milestone together. He freezes, careful not to move, even holding his bladder midstream while the predators fight. Once the dinosaurs are gone, he finally lets go. In the morning, Zora's team reaches a valley, following strange noises until they spot a herd of titanosaurs. 2 of them are mating, so Henry figures they're distracted and gets close enough to touch one's leg, which makes him tear up. The herbivores seem calm, so Zora easily shoots a dart and gets the sample they need. They move slowly because of Reuben's injured leg, and the little Aqualops keeps following them. Isabella names it Dolores and tucks it into her bag, saying she'll keep it as a pet. As they continue, they don't notice a hidden hill behind a large tree and end up tumbling down for what feels like minutes until they land near a river. Reuben smells something strange and a frightened Dolores bolts. Looking across the river, they spot an abandoned shed. Teresa notices a boat nearby and volunteers to retrieve it. She wades across the river and finds half of a dinosaur carcass on the other side. Suddenly, a Dilophosaurus jumps out, roaring at Teresa before fleeing. Turns out it's scared of the T-Rex sleeping in the bushes. Teresa quietly slips into the shed, startling a bunch of bats that flutter away. The boat she saw earlier is broken, but she finds a bag containing an emergency raft. Back on the other side, Dolores reappears and Isabella tries to shoo it away by tossing food. Teresa hauls the emergency raft to the river, not hearing her family whispering for her not to open it. She pulls the lever and the raft inflates instantly with a loud hiss, waking the T-Rex. The dinosaur is facing the other way for now, so Teresa jumps in and paddles frantically until she reaches her family. Everyone piles onto the raft, leaving Dolores behind. That's when the T-Rex spots them and charges into the water, swimming underneath to gain speed. It bursts out ahead of them, flipping the raft and tossing everyone into the river. The strong current sweeps Reuben past the T-Rex's snapping jaws, carrying him toward some rocks where he hides with Teresa and Xavier. Isabella is missing. Her screams reveal she's under the overturned raft, which the T-Rex is trying to bite. Its teeth can't pierce the thick plastic, so it lifts the raft and shakes it violently. Isabella manages to slip away and scramble back to her family. The group hides behind rocks too narrow for the T-Rex to reach, and the beast eventually gives up and leaves. The current then brings the raft back to them. After hours of climbing, Zora's team reaches the top of a cliff where a Quetzalcoatl's nest looms below. Too dangerous to approach the adult, they decide to collect an egg sample instead. Leclerc, experienced in rappelling, heads down easily, but Henry hesitates before following. Zora teases him for clinging to the rocks. At the top, Duncan spots a small dinosaur dart into an ancient temple. Suddenly Henry's rope slips and he nearly falls, but Duncan catches it just in time. The trio reaches a cave inside the temple, where Henry carefully takes the egg sample without harming the hatchling. Zora asks what he'll do with the samples, and Henry says he wants the cure to be open source so everyone can use it to save lives. On the cliffside, Leclerc sees the Quetzalcoatlus returning and shouts a warning. They hide behind stone columns as the giant swoops in. Henry gets cornered, so Zora distracts the creature while Henry goes for the vial. The dinosaur pins it underfoot until Leclerc throws a tool at its head, freeing it. As Duncan and Martin pull him up, the Quetzalcoatlus grabs Leclerc and swallows him whole. The others try to escape, but Henry's rope breaks and he plunges into the river. He swims ashore just as Duncan and Martin emerge from a secret passage. The sample, parachute-protected, lands safely near Henry. That evening, the family leaves the raft upon finding the InGen buildings. They call for help and Zora's team hears them reuniting both groups. Teresa quickly tells them what Martin did, prompting him to draw a gun and claim she's lying. He cuffs the sample case to his wrist. A strange noise catches Isabella's attention, and Henry realizes it's the generator on a timer. A dinosaur roar echoes, lights flicker on, and music starts blaring from the gas station. 2 mutatons charge out and chaos erupts. The family runs into the station, barricading the door, but Isabella doubles back for Dolores. The ceiling caves in as a mutaton crashes through, forcing her to hide in a fridge. Her family distracts the creature with thrown objects, giving her a chance to slip away. Ruben discovers a hatch leading into tunnels, and the family escapes underground. Meanwhile, Henry and Duncan duck into a lab, locking the door as another mutaton tries to break in. Inside, they see the crossbreeding experiments and a preserved specimen. A map reveals the tunnels lead to a boat at the docks. Outside, Zora hides under a jeep with Martin as a mutaton attacks. Martin fires but misses and the creature grabs him, tossing him onto the vehicle. Martin clings to the sample case but drops his gun, which Zora snatches. A rescue helicopter appears, but Martin drives off in the jeep, pursued by the mutaton. The beast hears the family in the tunnels and climbs down after them, with Zora following. But a mutated T-Rex, Distortus Rex, suddenly appears, biting the helicopter out of the air and causing a fiery explosion. Zora shoots one of the mutatons dead as it approaches the group. They reach the docks but the exit gate is locked. Isabella squeezes through to the control panel, Dolores warning her with a yelp about the incoming D-Rex. She works quickly as the D-Rex stops Martin's jeep and kills him, severing his hand and dropping the case. Zora grabs it and runs for the boat, but the crane holding it is jammed. The D-Rex charges Isabella, and Henry shouts that it's attracted to light. Duncan lights a flare, luring it away and diving into the water. Zora cuts the crane chain, freeing the boat, but the engine won't start. The D-Rex returns just as Ruben gets it running and they speed away. Spotting Duncan's flare, they rescue him before heading out to sea. By morning, Ruben notices Isabella still has Dolores. Zora asks Henry about the samples and they agree to share them with the world. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.